Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Today, super excited to share with you Rhino High Fidelity's latest release of Black Sabbath Paranoid. Fantastic album from 1970. Today we're actually going to take a look at both Rhino High Fidelity Black Sabbath albums. We're going to take a look at Black Sabbath's also 1970 first studio release album. I think this is a flat out absolute gem. And then we're also going to take a look at Black Sabbath Paranoid that we just came out in just a few days ago. And I'm really hoping that Rhino will do what they did with this album and come out with an unnumbered release, as this album sold out really, really fast within just a couple of days, as did Paranoid. I ordered it the day that I got the email from Rhino indicating that it was available, and I quickly ordered it that day. And I think it was just a day or two ago. In fact, it was actually before I actually received my copy of Paranoid through the mail. It had already been sold out on the website. So I'm really hoping that Rhino High Fidelity will do what they have been doing with so many of the Rhino High Fidelity labels and releasing them again unnumbered. So we're really hopeful that they do that. Let's go ahead and get started. But please, as always, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. But like always, the most important thing, please leave comments in the comment section below. Love to know what you're thinking. Let's go ahead and dive into Black Sabbath, their original first 1970 album release, their very first album. Let's go ahead and start with that album and really get into some heavy metal. This was heavy metal stuff when this stuff came out. These guys, Black Sabbath, were one of the really greatest bands that really started, I think, the really hard rock, heavy metal genre. Really one of the ones that really started that. And I tell you what, I love this kind of music. I really did. My first introduction actually wasn't their original first pressing. It was actually Paranoid, War Pigs, Paranoid, the song Paranoid, Iron Man, just fantastic albums. This I got played so much, but I had them both on cassette. I never did have the vinyl. I had them both on cassette because they resided in my car. When I would, these are one of these albums in particular, Paranoid, way more than it was this pressing here. I listened to this album all the time. I loved Paranoid. So did all my friends. I mean, War Pigs, Paranoid, like I say, Iron Man, all of these great songs that was on this album. Just a fantastic album. Let's go ahead and start with the 1970 first release of Black Sabbath, self-titled Black Sabbath. Okay, on their original 1970 first release of Black Sabbath, self-titled Black Sabbath, the band members, and it's the same for both albums, was Terry Geezer Butler on bass guitar, Bill Ward on drums, Tony Iommi, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, on lead guitar, and of course, Ozzy Osbourne was, lead vocals. This album, well, like I say, when it first came out, I had it on cassette and listened to it infrequently, liked a lot of the songs on it, thought it was a pretty good album, but I didn't really listen to it nearly as much. In fact, like I said, my really first introduction to Black Sabbath was this great album, Paranoid. But since I've had this since, I don't know, last May or June, whenever this was released on Rhino High Fidelity on vinyl, I had this album since then, and I've listened to it quite a lot. And to be honest with you, I've kind of grown to where I listen to this album a little bit more than I really do this album, even though this album I've only had for like 2 days. But I really love the music on this heavy metal self-titled album here. Well, what Rhino High Fidelity has done, and what they've done with a lot of their Rhino High Fidelity albums, of course, it's 180 gram vinyl. It's cut for the original analog master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. It's pressed at Optimal Media. Of course, it's a very heavy weight gatefold jacket. There is a commentary that I'll show you in here by Tom Olam. He was the producer at the time. Let's quickly take a look at the album. If you can see that, it's really a nice, glossy, beautiful album. I kind of put the inserts, or the albums, in a different insert. And you can see the inside of the album. Really pretty classic, the upside down cross there. Another back there, the back side of the album. My number at the time this was released is 2471. And like I say, this album, you can still get the Rhino High Fidelity. It's all unnumbered, which is totally fine, but it still sounds the same. It's just not numbered, which, whether that's a big deal or not to you, I don't really know. Let me just quickly show you the vinyl. As we talked about, it's 180 gram. Here is side 2 of the album. I haven't really been disappointed in any of the Rhino High Fidelity series albums that I've purchased. Haven't purchased them all, but I've purchased quite a few of them, and every one of them I've been very impressed with. The ZZ Top Box, those albums you can buy individually that are unnumbered as well, they all sounded fantastic, way better than the originals that I had. And so really super excited when Rhino High Fidelity announces new titles. So really excited for this album. Let me just quickly just pick a few songs and go through this and tell you about the sound. And if you're a heavy metal lover, I'm here to tell you what, this is an absolute must, in my opinion, on Rhino High Fidelity. This is an album that begs, absolutely insists that you turn the volume up, and it is done so very, very well. Okay, let's go ahead and just start on side 1 with the title track, Black Sabbath. Thunder and Lightning, like you've heard this song before. It's a pretty popular song, at least when the album was released and back in the 70s and so forth. And then the Church Bell, Thunder and Lightning Church Bell. It sounds absolutely fantastic, way better than I ever can remember on the cassette sounding. It sounds stunning. It really is dynamic as all get out. Really on this album, and we'll get to this album and talk about it as well. But on this album, Ozzy Osbourne's voice, his vocals are up front, they're clear, they're so very tangible. It just sounds simply amazing. I wrote in my notes, Ozzy's vocals are clean and clear. It's very, very chilling, his voice, the way it sounds. It sounds so amazing. Drums and guitar are excellent with nice definition and extension, in particular on the drums. Bass guitar is very, very nice, very easy to pick out and hear. It's really, really nice. Moving on to the second song on side 1, The Wizard. This is just great. The drums on this track are phenomenal. They sound fantastic on this song, The Wizard. Guitar also sounds unbelievably well. Ozzy's vocals are just absolutely excellent. And Ozzy also plays harmonica on this track. It sounds great, full of great detail, very, very clean and clear. Absolutely love this track. It's a great track. Moving on to the third song on side 1, Wasp, Behind the Wall of Sleep. Basically an NIB, kind of a combination of some songs here. They're fantastic. All of them are fantastic. On Wasp, Ozzy has an echo on his voice. I have never heard it sound like this. Never. I mean, it's the stage, and the stage that it creates, the image that it creates well beyond your speakers is simply stunning. You've got to hear this. It is incredible. His voice on this song, Wasp, it's incredibly good. Drums and guitar are extremely well defined. The sound is amazing. This is really on all of this entire series of tracks here. Bass is also very, very well defined and really does have good weight, helps kind of foundation that song, the songs, I should say. to me, this track 3, Wasp, Behind the Wall, Sleep, basically an NIB, is really, I think, the best listen on the album. This is just fantastic musicianship and just great hard metal, great music. You have got to turn the volume up on this one. It demands it. You have to do it. It sounds totally amazing. Nothing gets over edgy. Nothing gets over uh, bottom end wise. It's balanced. It sounds fantastic. If you're a heavy metal fan, this is one that you absolutely crank it up to listen to. It's wonderful. Uh, Really, one of the, I think this is really a fine album. I've been listening to this a lot actually because I really do like metal music. I really like good hard rock and roll, and I was always a fan of Black Sabbath. And after Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, really liked the music a whole bunch. This to me, if you're a metal person, this is a must-have album. Black Sabbath's very first studio album, self-titled Black Sabbath, absolute must. The quiet on the vinyl from Rhino High Fidelity is really quiet. It's really nice. Noise floor is really down there, right along, really approaching some of the very best. It's absolutely wonderful sounding vinyl, free of pops and snaps and cracks. Absolutely wonderful sounding album. Heavy metal, if you're into heavy metal, this is a must have. If you're looking for good hard rock, good heavy metal to turn up and crank and just rock out, here's the album right here. Black Sabbath on Rhino High Fidelity. Absolutely worth the $40. Fantastic album. Let's go ahead and talk about Black Sabbath Paranoid. Paranoid also was released about 3 months, maybe 4 months after this album, self-titled Black Sabbath album, was released in 1970. Both albums released in 1970. Of course, both albums were released on the Vertigo in the UK and on Warner Brothers here in the United States. Really fantastic music. Like I said, this album I had on cassette. This album saw an awful lot of playing time, in particular in my car. Uh, love this album. In fact, the entire album is really good. In fact, the entire first 4 to 5 songs on this album are absolutely stunning, in my opinion. This is what I grew up with. This is how I was really introduced to Black Sabbath, was Paranoid. All of the great hits, and I got to tell you what, they sound absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's just quickly take a look at the album cover and the vinyl really quick, and the insert. Sorry about not showing the insert on the self-titled Black Sabbath album, but I'll make sure that I do it on this one. Of course, this is a remaster from the original master tapes, just like Black Sabbath's self-titled album Black Sabbath by Kevin Gray at Coherent, limited to 5,000 copies. We're hoping that comes out to be an unnumbered re-release of this. It's pressed at Optimal Media, heavyweight gatefold jacket, and then of course the insert with commentator by engineer Tom Allman. And I'll make sure that I show that to you this time. In fact, I know that I just set it right in here, so I'll just set that down really quick. We'll take a quick look at the gatefold cover. Beautiful colors. I just think it's a fantastic job that Rhino was doing with these. The colors are just awesome. Let me just quickly show you the inside of the album. It's just nice pictures of the band, some good information in there. On the back side, of course, we've got the names of the songs, another just a really colorful record jacket. My number is 2545 out of 5,000. And here is the insert, which we were just talking about. Of course, this is the front side and the back side of the original master tapes that were used by Kevin Gray to do the remastering. Here's the inside of the insert. Of course, that's kind of talking a little bit about that Tom Allman, the engineer, and some other information in there, which is really cool. The vinyl, of course, 180 gram vinyl, 33 RPM. And I got to tell you what, that's really one of the cool things that I think that Rhino is doing with these albums is they're cutting them at 33 RPM. Not that I'm complaining a whole lot about 45, but I really prefer 33 RPM over 45. So really grateful that the Rhino High Fidelity series is being done on 33 RPM. All right, Paranoid. This, of course, was remastered by uh, Kevin Gray at Coherent. Done a fantastic job with all the rest of the Rhino High Fidelities. This is absolutely wonderful. He's done an exceptional job with this remastering. War Pigs, Luke's Wall. This was always one of my favorite songs on the album. Of course, it's the start of the album. It's very familiar when you play it and you listen to it. It just sounds unbelievable. The opening of this song is fantastic. Great guitars and the drums when they come in. Are you kidding me? It sounds incredible. Drums have really good definition and weight, as do Tony's lead guitar licks. Ozzy's vocals are clean and sound absolutely fantastic on that track. Excellent, good heavy metal, hard rocking song. Once again, you got to turn it up. You just have to. It's telling you, it's begging you to turn it up, and you have to. It just sounds great. Second song in, Paranoid, another just incredibly awesome, great popular song on the album. uh it, I don't know if it was really the most popular song on the album, or maybe Iron Man. I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. I liked them all. But Paranoid, really just a fantastic rhythmic beat. It just always gets you going. It always just when you hear it, you feel good. You just want to rock out and rock and roll and have fun. I really never heard on uh, until I got this release. I really never heard how great this song and how great this track actually sounded. It's just absolutely amazing. Drums and guitar, and even the bass and Ozzy's vocals are absolutely stunning. You really have to listen to it. It's a just a great song. And here again, I kid you not, I turned it up to my usual listening position, which is around 15 on my Class A preamp. I have to listen this up to around 20 or 22. It's just not that the record's recorded light or soft. It's really not. It's just the music. It insists that you turn it up, and you have to turn it up. The third song on side one, another fantastic song. It's called Planet Caravan. The percussion is excellent. The guitar is clear and clean and absolutely dynamic, and it just sounds really extended. It just sounds utterly fantastic. Um, on this track, Ozzy's vocals are kind of through some effects on this, and so his voice isn't what you'd expect, but it sounds really cool. The song's great, but the percussion and the guitar, and it just sounds clear and precise. It's a great sounding song. Really love it on this pressing. Uh, Number four, uh, fourth song on side one, Iron Man. The opening kick drums are awesome. Here again, you got to turn that up to really hear it the way it was meant to be heard. It's just awesome. Guitars are amazing. This is just a fantastic. Iron Man's a fantastic track, and it's always been one of my favorites. Percussion is also extremely well defined. Excellent track to demonstrate at high volume. If you want to impress some friends, if you want to have a great turn up the volume and just hear precise, good sound, and I do mean hard rock and roll, this is the song to do it with. Iron Man. Fantastic. Rolling over to side two on the Paranoid album, Electric Funeral, the very first track on the album, or excuse me, on the second side. Excellent song. Brings back so many memories of the growing up years, that it's just a great song. The stories I could tell you, oh my gosh, we ain't got that much time. But absolutely awesome guitar work on here. Ozzy's vocals are excellent with some echoing effects on his voices. Drums are excellent with detail and weight. Once again, it's an album, it's a track that you've got to turn up. The entire album you really want to turn up because it sounds so darn good. Kevin Gray and the folks at Rhino High Fidelity have done a fantastic job in mastering Paranoid and putting it on vinyl. Once again, the vinyl's quite quiet. Noise floor is quite low. It's a fantastic sounding release. I hope and I pray that Rhino High Fidelity will release this album, as they have done on this one, unnumbered, so that more than 5,000 people can enjoy this incredible master job that Kevin Gray has done, and really the folks at Rhino High Fidelity. This is an absolute wonderful heavy metal album. Black Sabbath, the guys that really on the front doorstep of really ushering in that incredible heavy metal genre. I think it's fantastic music from a great era of music back in the very early 1970s. In fact, 1970 to be exact. Great, fantastic music. Highly, highly recommended. We'll keep our fingers crossed that Rhino High Fidelity will release this now sold out numbered edition on unnumbered, as they have done so many others. Really keep our fingers crossed for that. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. Have a great day.